I'm still here, but I got a new friend. It's Lawler. What's up, dude?
Friend, kind of. It's all right. I still love you, Leaf. It'll be all right.
That hurts. But we have a great match that you can love coming up. As the desk just said, it's going to be really hard to predict this one, especially after what we just saw.
Yeah.
Who expected that to go that way?
And a lot of people have been talking about the talent on both of these teams. We've seen them all in previous league play. It's just a matter of, like, a lot have been actually sleeping on Genesis. Like, Genesis was the 4th seed coming in simply because of their tournament showing. They've always been persistent, but they've never really taken that top win yet. So between these two teams, like, it's going to be a battle. The guys at the desk not joking around.
Well, again, I've since like the beginning of season 2 and a bit before that too, I was always calling on Vince to be like, he is a strong player that kind of really pulled himself up into it. I mean, we've seen a lot of star players.
Right.
I mean, last season Devo as well, just kind of coming out of nowhere. There's a lot of these players showing up at this top level now and really making a dent in some of these top teams.
Well,
and Vince, now considered one of those top teams, playing with Espeon and Zane Jackie, one of the original members of Take 3, is a strong, solid roster.
Right. Previously, they did have Insol, and Insol obviously ended up going on the other side. But a lot of it had to do with how Espeon played. If Espeon did not show up, they were in trouble. And now with the addition of Vince, who was a high flyer and really worked out for Deception, it gives him some of a backbone because Zane Jackie's always been pretty consistent. You saw what he was able to do with Rizzo, but now that Rizzo's over on G2, like, there's going to be a lot of battling in this match, but I'm excited to get it underway.
Cool. Well, coming into our second qualifying match of the RLCS NA qualifiers for league play, we have Take 3 versus Genesis. All of these players have been in this position before. They're looking to find themselves on the upper bracket win. One of these teams will lose but drop down into the lower bracket. Still have a chance to make it to league play, but one of these teams will secure it in the first 30 seconds. We'll see if they start off at a high pace like we saw in our first series of the day.
Well, we actually saw him slow it down on defense immediately. I'm glad to see already, despite this team being extremely aggressive, slowing it down the back pass, but a shot coming down saved by Chrome.
Chrome tries to dribble that one out past the midfield. Classics will follow up. That's going to drop down in front of the net. Espeon forced to make a save. He does as Chrome's coming in hard. Insol with a touch out that will go to the opponents. Bit of a bad one there, but thankfully Classics was back, and Insol will set up a passing play here. Defense strong now on the Genesis side, or the Take 3 side, sorry. As they are trying to get some plays started up. Genesis just can't seem to find any scoring opportunities, but one for Zane Jackie as he puts the first one in this series.
Classic's in a difficult position on bottom as he sees Espeon falling up the wall. He just tries to play it around. Unfortunately, because of that, it bounces back into the middle. Good recovery by him, jumping off the wall rather than rolling down to get in front of it. But the placement by Espeon, bottom right, they're up by 1.
With just a minute passed so far, anything can still happen. Espeon trying to get a read on the block here as Classics does clear that one down to the far side. Genesis couldn't once again get a play started up, and that will find themselves back on defense. Seems to be the story of the first minute. We know anything can change after that. Teams will adapt and change. Espeon off the wall, good patience from him. Sets that forward, but couldn't get that second touch. Looks to be able to boost as well. It'll be Zane Jackie just trying to keep the pressure on. Vince in a good spot to help him out in the corner. Once again, patience from him, waiting for the touch from Classics, but he actually gets a touch. That's going to go in as no one is back. Who expected that? Classics with the credit.
Classics expected it, as you can see. The way that ball bounces off, as soon as he does it, we talk about putting your car in front of the ball. It doesn't matter how skilled it is. He just throws his body in the way and ends up pinching out in his favor in a long clear.
Talk about how 50-50s aren't necessarily always a 50-50. You can put it in your favor. Classics does exactly that with a nice long clear. Maybe not expecting in the net, but expecting a clear, and it worked out for them. All tied up once again between Genesis and Take 3.
Oh, what a shot from Zane.
Shot. Zane almost connecting with that far corner. Defense was strong there for Genesis. They were able to keep that one out. Insol Classics moving up, but he got bumped by his own teammate. It'll be Insol with the solo play, easily stopped out at midfield. Zane a little off target on his attempt at a pass there. Vince Espeon waiting back patiently, seeing Chrome and Insol in defense, knowing they could get a hard clear. Vince expecting pass down. Espeon almost didn't need him. That's a pass back. Zane maybe a little bit too far forward. We'll have to try for another pass himself.
Now, Chrome's one of those players that we see coming over from Revival, and he had to be that last defensive player for that team. But now with the addition of some of these other players, it gives him that confidence that even though if he goes up, there's going to be someone possibly behind him to help make a save. That instills confidence in this team, and you see the aggression, hopefully transitioning from it.
What a pass over to Espeon. He almost finds it. Zane Jackie just cleared that one across as he got chased down that midfield. Scoring opportunity was thwarted there by Genesis as they keep that one out. 2 minutes remaining, still tied up. We see a lot of attempts from Take 3. They're doing a very good job of controlling the field, just not able once again to get the scoring opportunities. A very strong defense coming from Classics and his company there on Genesis, but they aren't able to create any of their own opportunities. But they are still tied up, and that's really all that matters at this point. Finding another goal might be difficult as Take 3 is putting on some pressure right now between Espeon and Zane. Vince being that one back, waiting patiently to find that third chance to move in for that shot on net. Nice clear by Chrome, no one up to follow that. 2 on defense for Take 3. A good push back by Zane Jackie. He goes up for the pass from Espeon. Bumped out by Classics. Good foresight from him. Be able to stop that attempt before it even happened. Chrome insole will stop by Zane Jackie. Midfield player as both teams try to get control and a passing play started up. Almost had one there, but Vince a little off target. Espeon tries to clean it up. No momentum there to put one in the net.
No, a lot of back and forth as you see. But like you said, trying to control that pace. You even see with the way that Chrome played it. Rather than just putting it into the corner when they're on offense, he takes a light touch, able to follow it up with an aerial. But still, these players on Take 3 doing a really good job reading it as they put another one. We're talking already 8 or 9 shots coming out.
Well, we'll see if someone can put one in the net as we have 40 seconds left in game number 1 of this best of 5. Both these teams trying to get on the upper side bracket to qualify for North American League play in the RLCS Season 3. 30 seconds left. One of these teams will eventually get a win, but we'll see if it ends up in overtime. We've already seen 2 of those. A far shot. I don't know why. Good thing because Zane Jackie missed a touch on that. Maybe for the best as Espeon now has a chance to carry it down. Really
well played, as you said, carried down. He sees Chrome approaching, and rather than just playing it up the wall where Chrome is waiting, he slows it down, plays it back inside.
8 seconds left now. Neither one of these teams still able to find any kind of scoring opportunity. We do see Take 3 making the most of the passing plays, but because of that stacked defense right now from Genesis, they aren't able to stop it from overtime, and we see our 3rd overtime now in league play qualification.
Yeah, good decision as well by Genesis. Rather than forcing that backup field, trying to go for a goal as the time runs out, they just let it settle down, get that momentum switch, and put it in front of the net. Oh, a save!
Still a chance though for Insole as he goes up off the backboard, just touched enough by Zane Jackie. That was almost the chance for Genesis to take away a win on this one. We talk about kickoffs being a momentum changer. That's proof right there. Chrome puts in for Classics. That aggression coming out hard, but Zane Jackie once again on that backboard.
Oh,
spider
attack.
Is that going to go in?
Oh my goodness!
The
Vince.
bar down and the post. He finds the net.
The problem with committing so many, 2 against 1. Vince just plays that immediately off the wall and could not place that any better. Top left off the bar, it bounces in. Take 3 is going to take game 1.
Well, earlier we were actually watching replays as a group there, and a lot of them were Vince, and how in last season he had been a goal scorer. If he can get the ball and a shot on net, he's likely to put it in, and he does it right there, scoring one of the 2 goals for his team, but a very close match. And again, we're at a qualification spot. These are going to be close like this. Neither one of these teams really getting full control on the field. To me, it looked like Take 3 had some of the best passing plays.
Right.
But again, as I said, that stacked defense was really good. Look at that. They had a total of 8 saves to the 2 coming out from Take 3. That was nuts. They just were a wall.
Well, they handled it a lot. I mean, a lot of it had to do, like, you see all that pressure coming out, and they're making the saves. Some of the times you saw a couple of extra players commit to it. When we talk about committing 2 players at once, can be dangerous. But I'd rather have you commit 2 players and guarantee the save because that pressure wasn't going to stop. They maintained that side of the field for Take 3 for a very long time.
No, exactly. But, I mean, you got to find the back of the net, and they weren't able to do that.
Eventually they did.
I think it's true, but I think you're getting a little more passing plays, especially against a team of this caliber. I mean, the guys on Take 3 are experienced. They're veterans. They know what's going on, and they're going to stop any single shots on. Solo plays aren't going to get very far, I think.
Well, we even see it in just the offseason. It's been 3 months, and you noticed how much backboard play was in these previous seasons, but players have gotten so comfortable because if you're not comfortable on the backboard, you probably aren't going to be considered in even the top 16. And now these players are getting comfortable on the backboard, so how do you get past that? What do you have to do? A lot of it is going to have to come with infield passing. It's the only way you can get around it, other than bumps and some other conventional stuff.
Well, as you say that, very little amount of physical play coming up from either of these teams. We saw two demos in our first.
It's because they're forced in their corner. They can't get out.
That's true. And when you have no boost, what are you going to do?
Be scared, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, nerd scared. Game number 2. We'll see if Genesis scared at this point. Take 3, taking the first game in this best of 5, looking to qualify themselves in the upper side of the bracket into NA League play. Genesis trailing behind a point in the series, but maybe not a point in the game as they get a shot on net. Classics does get stopped out by Espion. Espion is doing a good job in net. I think potentially getting both of those saves for Take 3 in the last match, as Vince was generally that last one back, but Espion quick. That defensive slot, we'll see if they can get play started up here as Espion, the last man back. Once again, we'll keep that in the blue side on Genesis's end. Vince off the roof towards the target, but an fairly easy save for Insol there. But still the pressure. Zane trying to get a nice touch off the front of that Dominus. Wasn't quite able to. Vince still keeping the pressure on a shot to the far corner. Look at the placement on that. It's a lower team, might have been in, but of course you have a wall still in Genesis's end, keeping all of these advances out. But the first minute of gameplay going to Take 3, and they finally managed to break through the wall, take a brick out, and put a ball in the net.
Controlling possession very well. You see one play after another, just these soft little passes from this team, just to find an opportunity. Eventually they see 2 commit on Genesis's defense, and then a quick pass inside. It's a wide open net, pass goal. Vince is going to take it.
Chrome with the win on the kickoff there, but Vince will take control quickly as they put themselves back down on offense. First goal in just over a minute of gameplay in game number 2. Take 3 versus Genesis. They're trying to get another one as Espion forces his way in there. Almost wins that 50-50 in his favor to Chrome. Finally, now we see Genesis moving down the other way, but an open net for Espion to shoot on. Insol rushing back to that one, a little bit out of position, expecting the play to go in their favor. Does manage to get the save, though.
Espion wanted to put a little bit more power on that shot. Unfortunately for him, it actually was a little bit up on the hood, so it played kind of like a loft, unfortunately for him. But there's that demo plays you're talking about, a little bit more aggression.
Finally there. Well, they're going to need it, especially what? That's going to find it. Zane was good on that backboard before, but that's not a save you really want to make off the backboard here.
Well, you see the demo coming out, and then as soon as it happens, you see the spawn just not there
falls.
in time. It's forcing that last player to have to come down and literally try to fall on it, because the person who's supposed to be there for that defensive rotation simply isn't.
Now we're all tied up. Genesis finds again. We saw, much like the last game, a tied game for a good amount, and going into overtime even. Good communication there. Zane Jackie up to Vince off the backboard. A chance for Zane. Can't find the back of the net. What a play, though. And this is why Take 3 does look stronger on the field, but the scoreboard isn't showing it. They need to put those shots on target.
I also like what they're doing as they rotate back. There was a back pass coming towards one of their teammates, and Espion actually shadowed it. He moved back with it just to make sure if someone does contest it, he's going to be the one closest to it, despite anything coming out of it.
Espion committing to a touch he couldn't get. We'll stay up. A pass to Vince, but Vince needs out for some boost. Zane Jackie then we'll try to move it to keep the pressure on, at least force the opponents to do something, and they do, committing 2 to that one. Espion can take control here. Only 1 on defense, but Classics being a very good nuisance, stays in the way there, not giving Espion much room to move at the midfield. A bump there as Chrome flies out. Zane Jackie was trying to get a play started up, but gets stopped out. Looked like Classics on the offense there. Vince by himself, a solo play too far. Espion can't capitalize on that one. Try to creep up for that flank shot, and those are the shots you like to see.
What a bump.
Zane tries once again. Here's the offensive pressure we've seen from Take 3, and eventually Genesis did break. We saw this for that first goal, but they're looking to create counterattacks now.
Yeah, much different this time. Immediately plays it downfield and gets a clear out, something they've been having troubles doing, and that's credit to Take 3's pressure.
A good slow touch from Insol as he tries to follow it up himself. Vince will get in the way of that one. Classics all alone as his teammates boost up. Just has to keep him busy. A demo. Chrome to Insol. Could be a goal-scoring opportunity, but he gives it right to Vince. You had the entire net. Insol, not the best shot we've seen, but a good opportunity from Genesis, and I'd like to see some more of that. They have a chance here to do that, as I just said. Pass over to Classics, but a little bit too late up to that ball. Maybe expecting a defender to try to clear it. No hesitation is what they need, especially in the final minute of gameplay, unless they want to go in overtime again. But they do have the upper hand right now as they have a good rotation on offense going up. They just need to keep that on. Hope to get the goal and keep away from an overtime situation, then giving the possession back to Take 3. Insol up to Classics as he tries to drop it down to Insol again. Vince in the way. Defense playing strong and patient right now from Take 3. As Genesis is turning things around and starting to get some opportunities themselves on offense. 30 seconds left. Still 1-1. Take 3 looking to finally make their attack, but they do find themselves backing down on their own end. Insole by himself puts one in, and they may avoid that overtime situation.
Insole taking it into his own hands. You see one starting to cheat up, which is Zainjackie, but Insole gets that second touch off the wall, and because of that slight hesitation, Zainjackie then gets caught having to double back, and he plays it around, uses the momentum of that hit, and then just plays it into himself. Really well played, and with 22 seconds left, they may be able to close this one out.
As you said, 20 seconds left. All they have to do is hold on to the lead, but Vince doesn't want to let that happen. Shot on target. Chrome actually takes out a teammate. Could be a chance for take 3 to put another one on net. Both defenders up for that. Still a chance. Zainjackie the drop down. Asbion almost able to do it. Defense struggling for Genesis, but they only have 2 more seconds to hold off. Insole, the last hope here. Could have put that on the ground, but he puts it to Zain. There's still a chance now for take 3. Another mistouch, and they might be able to put another one in, but doesn't matter anyways. They're going to take away with the win.
Same scoreline coming out. These games battling back and forth. Both teams showing what they needed to win. But a big difference this time with Genesis. They actually forced this Take 3 team to play defense for a little bit, and they looked lost when they had to.
Well, it was really weird. And Insole's, I've got mixed emotions with him right now because, you know, he ended up getting both goals for his team, which is great. Getting them into the back of net, you win because of that.
Right.
But he's also had a couple missed touches. I mean, on defense, a couple weird touches. On offense, and even there, why not just put it down into the ground and finish the game? A couple weird touches could be the death of them because we know these teams can adapt. We know these teams can make those changes, and Take 3 is no exception. They could come through and say, okay, well, we've seen what you've been doing, and if you don't change that, we're going to capitalize and score on you in the next one.
Well, you talk about those missed touches, and I don't even know if it's a missed touch in that circumstance because obviously these guys understand the pressure. Like, they have to win to make it in. And with that kind of circumstance, like, he's going to take the safe bet, and I think that's why he's clearing it downfield. He wants it as far away from his net, just as, like, a worst-case scenario, because if someone does get, like, a cheeky touch or a little chip, like, that probably is going to set her under his net with how close it is to the wall, and he doesn't want to take that risk. So these guys being aware of it, but at the same time, like, yeah, spike it into the ground and hope, but clear downfield and don't risk it, I guess. Like, either way, like, a lot can happen in a couple seconds.
And it's so weird to look at the stats too on the scoreboard there. They look very close. They looked very even, but it was so lopsided in the match. I mean, at the beginning, Take 3 really took control of the field, but by the end of it, Genesis really had control of everything and put the pressure on themselves. And I'm excited to see how that's going to go in this. Will that carry over, or will they both even out and have a very even match all around?
Well, after the first 2 games, these guys back and forth, same score lines in favor of each. Tied up. Here we go into game number 3.
We'll see if either team get a start off the bat. I was waiting for Vince to get that pass to Zain. That's my hesitation to talk. I was ready to freak out. Could have been a great play. They weren't able to connect. Chrome going to be out of the play for that. Classics just trying to stay in the way. Good second touch from Vince there. Insole will have to be the one to clean it up. That's a rough spot. And Insole, no! Oh, did you not hear me before about your missed touches? That was an open. Insole just wanted to give it to Classics.
Well, Classics tried to come across and just get in the way and be a bully about it, and I think that's the read that he was looking for, is as that guy's rotating back to the right, he's just trying to shadow that hit, and therefore nobody hits it in general. Like, it just sits there.
He might have expected a defender to be coming from the flank to save it and getting a read touch on him, but either way, it's in the net, and that's all that matters at the end of the day as Genesis takes the first one. We're all tied up in the series in game number 3. With this best of 5, both these teams looking for a qual spot on the upper bracket. See who. One of them will take it. One will be knocked out.
Oh,
lowers.
Vince again.
Asbion, can you get the second one? He didn't have enough boost. He did his darndest. Vince trying to get that nice shot off the bar down, but couldn't. Some pressure coming out from Take 3. No real control to shots on net as they had some open net chances. There's a good pass out to Asbion. Chrome rushing to be a nuisance. Again, another missed shot there from Take 3 as they try to even this one up. There's Zain right into a defender as we had 2, both Chrome and Classics there. So now Classics trying to get out. Good fall through. Classics has been getting a lot of good touches like that, just getting in the way. He actually got a goal off of one of those in game number 1. So he knows to keep doing that one. Insole getting in the way of Vince there and Zainjackie. He'll give a chance for Chrome to put one on.
Insole with another bump.
But I think out of boost completely missed that ball. Classics, nice pinch, will send that right back down. Buying them a little bit of time, stopping Take 3 from any kind of advance. They're on the lead, and that's all they have to do, really. I'm sure they're looking for another goal, though.
Yeah, they want to separate this lead, but I'm glad to see Zainjackie. The first couple of games, he was looking pretty spotty. He missed a lot of aerials, even when he was going up just for simple redirects. But he's getting more involved now. A couple of these touches starting to be a part of this team. But you see that ramping up as well on the Genesis
rough
side.
Spot. Vince couldn't capitalize. Zain, no! We've had like 4 misses coming out from Take 3 now. Zain with another one. So many posts. MVP at the moment. Insult will try to air dribble this. We know those are to save, but passing. Now that's useful. Classics almost was able to capitalize with a goal there. With 2.5 minutes left, they still are in the lead. Genesis holding off Take 3, but I mean, Take 3 had so many opportunities. They're getting shots on net, they're just missing them. And that could spell a loss for Take 3 if they don't start putting them to the back of the net.
Well, with pass plays coming like this, the aggression showing from Genesis, that's something we were talking about, a shot on net, almost sneaking in top
scary.
right.
I mean, Espeon had faith in the post or Zane Jackie. Either way, it worked out for them as the post came through for their team, as it has been coming through for Genesis. Insole with a second follow-up, can't get touch on that one. Espeon a chip out. 2 defenders there, easy clear for Zane Jackie now as Classics is out of the play. Espeon trying to put one on target, he does, but a little bit too much to the short side. Insole will be able to stop the play with 2 minutes left, still in the lead. Only sending 2 up at a time, very smart, making sure that last defender gives himself enough room in case a hard clear comes out.
Also wasting, oh, there's Vince. They were wasting no time bringing that upfield as they had all 3 back on defense. They set that up, but Vince took full opportunity. As soon as that ball's played in, he wastes no time himself. Throws his body in the way, gets a pinch over the top, and gets a goal. And he still had Zane Jackie on his right flank, and then he had Espeon on the other side. Like, every side of the field was covered.
2 minutes left, they finally tie it up. Genesis now not at an advantage. See if the kickoff can let them bring that back. Weird flip from Classics. He will recover, but they'll be without a play because of that, as Vince moves that one downfield with Espeon. Espeon and Zane ready to put some pressure on. Vince already back. The speed on him is incredible. Can't seem to get possession and move this one out of the field, though. Espeon finally with a flick off the backboard, but he gets destroyed. Will be a chance for Genesis now to move out. Losing that at midfield. Chrome back up to Insole. No doing from him. That will head in from Espeon by himself. No good touch from him there, and that won't be able to get out to the defender, but look at these demos from Genesis now.
Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with Espeon. Espeon and Zane Jackie both, actually. Zane Jackie was sitting in the middle of the field, and he was going to go off for that touch, but there was nothing that was going to come from it. Like, if he would have hit that 50-50, it probably would have went flying back into the corner. So what does he do? He backs off and just doesn't throw himself into something that's useless. Unfortunately, he's got someone coming in for a demo.
44 seconds left, still tied up. I wonder if we're going to see another overtime situation here that we saw in game number 1. Espeon with an air dribble, of course stopped out by the defenders. Still looks sexy though. I like to see that. No finish to it. Back down to their own net. The thing is, teammates knew that was probably going to defend it and waited back. Vince with a shot to the corner. He needs some boost. Zane Jackie will fill his place. Not the best chip there. All 3 up though, and that's starting to get risky for Genesis. That could prove to be a goal if Take 3 can take advantage of that. Vince to Espeon. Espeon with a shot. Stopped out by Classics. 5 seconds left. Looking to be another overtime between Genesis and Take 3 in game number 3. If this touches the ground, Chrome trying to get a play started up. There's Classics with the follow through. I'm sure Espeon wants to drop it. He does. And we hit another overtime.
Yeah, Zane Jackie wasn't going to do with anything as he was rotating backfield. But yet again, another overtime between these two teams, battling back and forth as ball's played up. Can Zane Jackie get the contest? He does.
There's Vince with a pass out, stopped by Chrome. Espeon did have a chance there. Good, they're looking for those passes from the corner, but they need to get those passes infield. They want to get past that defense. Classics to himself. No real pressure from him there, so it will be a chance to move up the field, but Espeon probably didn't get the touch he wanted there. Gives the possession right back over Vince. Zane Jackie forced to do it themselves. A nice pinch from Vince finally. Gets out to the midfield. One of his teammates keep up the pressure they can. Chance here, Espeon already up, tries to recorrect. A little bit off on his read, preemptively up for that shot. Would have been a great play though, but they are on offense now. We'll see if they can keep it up. Chrome has to back off quick. Almost made a bad decision to move up, expecting Classics to have the touch there. 1 minute into overtime now, and we see Take 3 really putting on some pressure. Defense still coming out from Genesis, but it's starting to look scary as they are making the smallest mistakes here and there. Classics by himself, a solo play stopped by Espeon. Vince forced up onto the backboard, still in a scary spot for the defense of Take 3. Finally cleared out down into Genesis end.
Genesis looking really scary when they get the possession, but pass inside, saved by Insole getting up. But this pressure from Take 3 back and forth in front of the net. These guys trying to do their best to play it to the corner just so someone isn't in the way of playing it back in immediately. But a back pass, even stuff like that scares me against these teams.
Well, they had rough pressure at the beginning there. Back pass will be good. Chrome getting yet another demo. Trying to hope that that will work out for them. Almost Classics. Can he do it? No. But he does get it to Chrome. Stopped by Vince. What an opportunity for them. Missed. I get the idea of the backboard pass. Maybe hindsight should have put it right in. Couldn't quite. That does get stopped out for Vince. Insole with an air dribble himself. Trying to get the backside of the Batmobile to block out Zane, but he's got a nice hitbox himself. A power shot to the net. And Chrome will find themselves a win in overtime.
It all has to do with that initial air dribble from Insole. As he's bringing that in, it forces that defender to come up and challenge it. It pinches in their favor, immediately Chrome's up on the wall and puts a response back in. They're going to take game number 3, and now they're up 2-1 in the series. 1 away from being in the league play.
This is a match point, as you just said, coming into our 4th game here, unless Take 3 can pull it back. And again, it's so weird on the field. Take 3 looking so strong. But I mean, look how many shots they had. 1 goal for 12. I did it, I think.
8 plus 4 is 12. Good job.
For 12 shots is not really the best shooting percentage. I mean, I don't know if I'd call that acceptable. They had way too many missed shots where there wasn't even a defender. They just hit the posts.
Yeah.
And that can't be happening. Take 3 needs to tighten that up. And they will find themselves with a win, because even in that last game, even with a loss, they looked like the strongest when they were on offense. Just no capitalization hitting the back of the net.
I mean, you talk about it perfectly. I mean, you're talking 12 shots to 1 goal. That's not acceptable. I mentioned a little bit how Zane Jackie's touches have been a little bit off, and now he's starting to get a little bit more involved, and those shots are then becoming more prevalent because of it. But the issue is like, that's make or break. Every single game so far has been 2-1. That could literally change the entire story of how this series is playing out.
Of course. I mean, as we just said, Take 3 could have had so many more goals. But, I mean, Genesis is still a very strong defense. 7 saves out of those shots, too, which means the rest, again, were missed. That's a lot of misses there. But they're still doing a good job on defense. It's just they will eventually break. You'll eventually run out of boost. It'll happen. Unless Genesis can get an early goal here and keep up that pressure on offense, I mean, they seem to lose that a lot. They can't maintain staying on offense.
Well, that's where I give credit to Genesis, is because despite all that pressure, when you're playing really aggressive and really fast, it's something that we see Iris do a lot. Take 3 then has boost control. They're able to get into the corner quicker. They're able to maintain the boost. They control that possession side. But yet Genesis is still doing a good job of holding it off.
Well, we'll see in game number 4. Genesis is at match point right now, despite 100 billion shots from Take 3 in the past few games. They still sit on the upper bracket side to move into NA League play. See if Take 3 can bring it to game number 5. If our first series of the day indicates anything, it probably will go to it, but that's up to Genesis right now as we start off in the first 30 seconds of gameplay. Season 3, game series number 2, the RLCS qualifications. Zane Jackie trying to get a play start up finally for Espion as he moves that forward. He doesn't stay up there, though, for any kind of shot. Pass, Insole with an air dribble shot, gets enough power. Not a simple air dribble, a second touch, pops that over. Beautiful play from Insole.
Insole really trying to do his best to make himself the player of this series. You saw it at the very beginning when they started to gain this momentum. He had that dribble around. Last play, he forced them to make that save, and then Chrome got a shot. And here again, this time it's going to capitalize. He's going to get the touch himself. They're up by 1, 4 minutes left. Still lots of time, but Genesis really carrying this momentum.
Classics off the backboard, a second touch, not quite able to follow through. I think Insole thought he had it. That's why he was pushed up as well, leaving Chrome back by himself on defense. Vince trying to get that pinch pass off the bottom side of his car. Would have been beautiful, but it does get contested there by a defender on Genesis. Vince with a hard shot to the far side. Good pass to Espion off the backboard. No follow-up as Insole was the spider this time. Keeps that one away. Backboard pass again. There's Chrome this time, making webs. Chrome up to Classics off the backboard. A follow-up from Insole. What a placement, but Vince was there. Incredible shot from Insole. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him this match.
Yeah, good rotations coming out. That's super dangerous. Espion was actually cemented on the ground as Classics was up in the middle. He didn't know which corner to pick, so he just put himself in the middle, and then Vince doing his job. His whole point is to follow in behind on defense after he takes his hit. Works out well, and he gets a lucky touch to make that save.
Classics.
Still keeps him in it.
Stopped by the post there and then bumped. We'll have to back out. This play will probably die out now as it goes into the hands of Take 3. Genesis showing a lot of pressure now. They still sit up a point in the series and a point in this game. as they get another demo. We saw that all last game. Game number 3 was pure demos coming out from Genesis, and it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to do with that aggression play. The way that they can bring that back in, and the way that they're able to basically force and push their style is insane. Like, a lot of them has to do with the aspect of being able to transition, not only in with like aggression, they take that shot and then they sweep through and take full advantage of where they're at in the game. Like, a lot of it has to do with, okay, I take a hit, what can I do after this? Should I steal their boost? Should I do something else? And they can't do that when they're on defense. That's what Take-3 was doing so well in game number 1 and 2.
Well, they're still holding off. 2 minutes left, and they're still up in the series. Again, we did see Take-3 pull this one back last time, and we're able to come away with a win on that last one, but we'll see if they can do that. Vince now with a shot. Teammates are back at defense, or sorry, midfield. Espeon with the one off the backboard.
Oh, no,
backflip from Chrome. No, Chrome, and I literally was just talking about this one. They gave it up at like the 2-minute mark last time as well.
Well, you see Insol trying to commit to that, but then one mistake. That shot placement is fantastic, but should have been an easy save. It's just, unfortunately, when you jump, he's trying to do a quick aerial. For those that don't know, you jump, lean back, and then jump again to get the most height while boosting at the same time. It allows you to get up in the air really, really quickly, and it conserves a lot of your boost as well. Really important when you're being pressured on defense.
Well, with a minute 30 left, all tied up, are we going to see another overtime is the question.
I assume so. Like, why wouldn't there be? With how this is planned out already, it's all scripted, right? Overtime's a lot, and
that's the RLCS.
Game 5's every single one. Yeah, that's how we do it.
We like to keep the hype up. We're doing exactly that as we find that final minute of gameplay approaching here. And a demo, once again, look at this. Chrome just running in to take out that player, and that look at this. So much aggression. They want this. They are showing this. I mean, here's the thing. Even if they lose this, they still have another chance. Why not go for everything right now? Create those opportunities for yourself.
Well, a lot of it has to do, like, obviously people want to play safe, and I'm glad that they're not. As soon as you see these risks, demos are not something that you always want to go for, simply because you are completely taking yourself out of your general rotation. Unless you can do it in a really smooth way, which a lot of players really don't because there's not enough practice in it, you're completely out of the play. You are risking it, because if you miss, that guy can easily just rotate up with his team.
Ooh, Espeon, I know to get those double touches almost did, but maybe for the better as Vince had a shot. It was 30 seconds left. A nice pass to Vince, a pop-up for Espeon. He sees another guy in the corner. No, he backed off. They almost had a chance to get a sick play started up there. Espeon with maybe a boost and no! He tried for both. I knew he was going to try for both, but he only got the boost, missed the ball. Thankfully, Zanejacket was there. That's a chance. Espeon, I'm so quick.
No, it's an open from Insol.
There's nothing they could do, though. I mean, Espeon was going to drop it in. What do you do as a defender? He has to go up for that save.
You don't do anything as a defender. You should have your teammates trusting you to make that save, but it bounces up, and Espeon does a great job. He puts himself in the way of that. He's literally just going to take an easy tap, but unfortunately, Insol is forced to go up and make a save, and because of that, you see a goal. And there, that game 5.
Hey, yep. Well, I've said this. I mean, Genesis holds it off till 2 minutes, and all of a sudden, they give it away and they lose it out. But again, yeah, 2 seconds left could be it. But if this touches the ground, which it probably will here, of course, Vince will drop it. Take-3 brings us to a game 5, as predicted.
It's all according to plan.
Calculated.
Oh my goodness, man.
What more could you want, man? The most Rocket League you can get is the best kind of stream that you can have.
Well, I mean, I look at the score. So game 1 was 2-1. Game 2 is 2-1. Game 3 was 2-1. And guess what game 4 was?
10-3. Oh, 2-1. I was close.
Yeah. God, you hurt me inside. But, so I'm going to assume game 5 is going to go to 2-1. We might go to overtime. There's a pretty good chance. Probably 50-50. But a lot of it has to do with back and forth. Like, the only reason Take-3 had that is because of a huge mistake from Chrome. That backflip, like, that's got to be hurting. And this is where it comes into having your teammates being like, dude, don't worry about it. Let's go on. Let's take it. That's not easy to overcome. That's really frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of want to take a look at it again. There was a pinch goal earlier, I think, that looked really sick. And, some of these pinches, especially from Vince, have been coming. I've noticed he's going for those ones. But, I mean, there it is. You see that pop up. Espeon just tucks it in. I mean, that's what I was talking about. That last defender had nothing to do. We saw great defense from Genesis coming out until that moment. I mean, like, they have these small faults that they're just giving away. There's a lot of great defense from Genesis, they find these small holes, and that's where Take 3 needs to move in, and that's where they haven't been moving in. Thankfully, they did it there. Espeon knew that no one was getting up for that. He could throw himself at the ball and get in the way. If they can do that in this next one, we talked about it. Take 3 has the ability, and they've been showing it on the field, to walk away with a win here.
Well, here it comes. Match point for either team. Winner gets into league play, guaranteed to play for the next 5 weeks. These guys back and forth battling it out. Fantastic Rocket League all around.
We'll see who's going to start up. As we said, this is match point. We're in a game 5. One of these guys has dropped down to lower, still with a chance. You don't want to be down there, but still with a chance to make it into league play. It's going to be hard, though. One of these teams will find themselves qualifying after these next 5 minutes are up into the NA league play, following up with Radiance earlier. We are our first 2 teams into it. Vince with an air dribble, just trying to get a play started up. At least put that onto offense. Couldn't get it past Classics, though. Thankfully, someone on defense, Espeon, not quite getting a touch, but Zane Jackie did with a rocket. Stopped out by the defense there off the backboard. Vince can follow it up, and he does. Putting the first one in, finding a shot accurately on net, and they find themselves in the lead.
That's what we saw Vince doing earlier in the season. As soon as he takes that touch, no hesitation, gets up immediately and beats out Chrome. Chrome actually was perfectly underneath that, almost got it, but the pressure of Vince coming down from that angle allows him to power through it and put it into the back of the net. It's only been 50 seconds. We're up by 1 on the favor of Take 3.
Oh, Espeon,
but Espeon
get another one!
Oh,
yes! We talk, okay, I've already said it this time. Kickoffs you can change the momentum instantly. Look at the cheat up here. That the guy from went for kickoff completely off. The cheat up was completely off. Espeon's able to put it on his car, get a little flick up, and throw it into the net. Kickoffs are so important to get the momentum.
Well, cheating up can be super risky, so you send one for the kickoff, have a player of yours on your team following slowly behind. The issue is depending on the way that it pops, you usually try to position yourself to the side, assuming that the kickoff is going to go in your team's favor. And when it doesn't, like, they get punished for it so much. But, like, someone should be at net. There's no reason for someone not to be.
Take 3 is getting cheeky now. I saw Vince up for a drop down into the net, and I like to see these plays. They're playing confidently, and I think that's going to be what allows them to make shots accurately.
You see what happens when Vince plays confident. Not fun to play.
Not fun against you.
No.
To play against. No, not at all. Espeon, nice touch there. See, that's what I'm saying. Mechanical skill is really starting to show now as Take 3 is warming themselves up. They know they can take this, and they know they have to do that to be able to take this.
I also like, despite that, they're not going away from demos. You see Chrome was just able to get one there. They're not shying away from it despite being down by 2. I like it.
Well, I mean, they got to stick to their game plan. They have to get in the heads of their opponents and say, we're still here and we're still a force to be reckoned with. Chrome on target. As that Take 3 defense was a little bit rough, Espeon was able to fall through. Clear that one out. Zane Jackie down to no one. Of course, Vince will wait back, expecting a shot. Espeon the one to clear it instead. Follow up, a little bit of a miss on his landing there, but does get a boost. There's a pressure on from Insole. This defense barely keeping out an attack from Genesis. The onslaught still going on right now. And there's a demo. This is the chance they need to take, and they do. Classics finds the angle as his teammate gets a demo for him.
That demo was so clutch. Chrome coming across and taking him out. Because there's only 2, and one of them is already committed to the first hit. Easy shot on net. Really well played by Genesis to bring themselves back in. We're almost halfway. Match point, like we said. Winner goes on to league play.
Well, we saw it before. Even if a team's in the lead, opponents can come back pretty quickly here. This is Rocket League. A goal can happen in 1 second. I've seen it happen. 2.5 minutes left. Still a lead for Take 3. Genesis is really starting to put some pressure on, though, especially with the demos. That's got to start getting scary for Take 3. Oh, Classic's a bit of a miss there. We'll just start to dribble it instead of flick. Easily read by Zane Jackie. A far push to that right corner for Vince. A little bit far behind, commits to it anyways. Now Zane, the last one back with a 2-on-1 situation. A demo potential here. Zane Jackie,
oh, no.
A little bit off.
Oh,
Classic
what a read.
is able to finish it off the post, and they're all tied up.
What a bully. Insole, as soon as he lands, he's just going to get in the face of Zane. Zane does a pretty good job of trying to cut off that angle, but then as soon as Classics, he plays that shot far enough. And luckily for him, because he does that, he lands perfectly, able to follow through and then play it back in, following up his own shot. He's not leaving anything to chance. We're all tied up.
Just past the halfway mark.
Well, we were wrong on our script. It's 2-2.
Well,
I mean, you said, what, 10-3 or something?
Yeah, it still happened.
No. Hate to break it to you, but no.
Zane Jackie with a shot. Stopped by Classics. Espeon to follow. We've seen him in that spot before. Scary as a defender, but a misflip there will leave him out of the play. Only Zane and Vince are back now. Vince gets a nice one to the side. No follow-up, obviously, from his team. They'll have to wait back at the midfield. Classics couldn't get a read on that touch there. Nice pass play out to Classics, to Insol. So move this one up the field. Couldn't get the flick over Zane as he gets his car in the way there. A shot on target, but an easy save for Chrome. We had a backup there from Insol. Pressure now starting from take 3. We need to see some more of these passing plays. A lot of single shots going on target. Might actually work, though, as Espion finds it. Insol on the goal line.
Oh, no, there's
just
somebody
to scrape
net.
out
Oh,
a save. And there's, again, a miss from Vince there. So close there as he just runs out of boost, I think, with a final minute of gameplay approaching. They almost set themselves up.
Oh, no, mistakes!
Zane Jackie, I hope he learns that's twice now off the roof or the wall that he's tried to fall into it and missed.
Well, Chrome has taken that corner shot from the wall, playing it directly. A lot of teams, when we first started out, would play it into the corner and then have it bounce into mid. These guys are now taking it about midfield and putting it back in the middle simply to draw someone out. The issue is when you don't have anybody commit to it, it's going to sneak in. That's so dangerous. And now hopefully these guys don't beat themselves up because you know Genesis is really going to put on the pressure.
Genesis is a point up now with 50 seconds left. All they have to do is hold on to this to find themselves qualified for NA League play on the upper bracket, and take 3 will be dropped down into the lower, but Vince isn't ready to have that happen as he throws one on target. Follow from Espion, a nice placement, but Chrome keeps it to the side here. 30 seconds remaining. Chrome tries to clear it, but Zane Jackie with the intercept. All the pressure has to come up from take 3. It's do or die if they don't want to be dropped. Worst case, you go down to the lower, but you may as well put it all in. Oh, Vince, that
there's a shot!
Oh my God. Is able to follow through. What a stuff coming out from Vince as he follows through. Oh my goodness.
These guys leaving it all on the line as Vince comes flying through preemptively to put that back down for his teammate. And then the follow-up. You have got to be kidding me. 19 seconds left. Do or die moment. No one wants to drop to the lower bracket.
This is incredible. 15 seconds left. Completely tied up in both the series and in this game right now. If someone gets it in 10 seconds, we won't see an overtime. Vince tried to get the read. To the side it goes instead. Espion with all the pressure. They may as well. As it goes back to the other end, Vince tries to get a hard clear. Espion will wait up. A pop to Vince. A Vince with a shot. Maybe good stop there from the defender there. And that will drop as it bounces between multiple cars.
That was scary too, because that ball was playing back inside and just immediately stopped. That was dangerous. Momentum change again. We reset. What is going to happen? Take 3 trying to play that back in the middle, but stuffed out by Insols immediately.
Vince down to himself. A pop towards the net to Espion. Chrome, good read on the shot there. Does keep that one out. Take 3 Genesis trying both of them to get that one goal that will put them into league play. One goal in this sudden death will do it. Classics, maybe not the best touch. That will go into the hands of Espion potentially. And there's Zane Jackie. He waits. Saw Chrome up. Saves that one to the side. Vince just trying to get boosted up as they are on defense. This is a rough spot now for the defense to take 3 as Genesis starting to put pressure on. They have boost. They have pressure. But Espion finally gets possession to the midfield. Vince up to Espion. Good passing play. Not enough power. Insol has a chance to fling that one back down off the backboard. No one there to contest it. And Insol is going to take mad advantage of that one and win themselves a spot into the league play for North America.
Insol, definitely the MVP for me for this entire series, being all over the field. And then just like you said, nobody up on the back where we talk about how people having to get a little more conventional because of it. In the one time pretty much that we don't see somebody up waiting for it, it gets played right in the middle and then a shot. Something like, that's like OG Season 2, man. Like, we see that so much.
It was such a rough spot. I mean, Zane Jackie had the potential to get there, maybe out of boost, but the potential to get there and at least clear that. But I think it took too much time, and it just opened up the doors for Insol. And we saw a few goals that shouldn't have happened, again, from those drop downs off the wall on the backboard from Zane Jackie. And it's just a little bit rough spots. Take 3 had the chance to take the series. A couple mistakes here and there were capitalized by Genesis, and then they walk away with it. So congrats, obviously, to Genesis for getting that second spot.
Yeah, big shout out to Genesis. They played very, very well. I'm glad, like we mentioned, they were sticking to their game plan despite being down 0-2 to come back and really, score pretty much almost 4 unanswered. There was that little slight mistake that was just insane because Vince went crazy, to tie it back up. But overall, both these teams, Take 3, we'll be watching you guys later today.
Of course, again, Take 3 still has a chance down the lower bracket, but to tell you more about that is the analyst desk.
Thank you, Leaf and Lawler.